You've probably heard of turmeric, right? That golden spice that's been a big deal in traditional medicine for, well, centuries. But what's the secret sauce? It actually comes down to one tiny molecule, curcumin. So today, we're going to dive into the science behind this golden molecule and figure out the real key to unlocking all that power. I mean, how beautiful is that? It really captures the almost mystical way people have felt about turmeric for so long. But what's amazing is that modern science is now starting to catch up, digging into the mechanisms that explain why it's so legendary. And that brings us to the big puzzle. We know curcumin has all this incredible potential. But, and this is a huge but, what if our bodies can't actually get to it? This one question has been the biggest roadblock for researchers, and it's the key to everything. So, how do we get that key and unlock it? Okay, let's get right into the core of the problem. You see, when scientists test curcumin in a petri dish, the results are incredible, but those results don't always show up in people. And this gap, this disconnect between the promise and the reality, it all comes down to one thing: bioavailability. Yeah, it's a bit of a sciencey term, but the idea is actually super simple. It's just asking how much of what you take actually makes it into your system to do its job. You can think of it like ordering a package. If it gets lost in the mail or destroyed before it gets to your door, it doesn't matter how great the thing inside was, right? Well, for curcumin, this has always been the delivery problem. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, in the lab, curcumin is an absolute powerhouse. It's a rock star. But on the right, once it's inside your body, totally different story. Our bodies are just too good at breaking it down and getting rid of it, which means almost none of it ever reaches your bloodstream. So why are we so obsessed with this bioavailability problem? What's the big deal? Well, because it's directly tied to one of the most critical processes for our health: inflammation. You see, curcumin isn't just masking symptoms. It goes right to the source. It actually interacts with these major players in our body, like NF-kappa B. You can think of that as the master switch for inflammation. And then there's IL-6, which is like a messenger that runs around telling your body to fire up the inflammatory response. So you can see why getting curcumin into your system is so important. And this isn't just a cool theory. The data really proves it. A massive review of a bunch of clinical trials found that when curcumin is absorbed properly, it can literally lower the levels of that inflammatory messenger IL-6 in people's blood. It's a direct, measurable effect. We've known for a while that inflammation is linked to health, but some new research has really raised the stakes. It's revealed a connection that's, frankly, a lot more urgent and direct than we might have thought. Let's take a look at a study that really highlights this. Okay, look at this chain reaction. It's pretty shocking. A preclinical study found that something as common as a respiratory virus, like the flu, can cause a huge spike in that inflammatory molecule, IL-6. And that spike can basically act like an alarm clock for dormant cancer cells, waking them up. It shows this really dangerous pathway from a simple infection to inflammation to something much, much worse. Now, to give you the full context from the source material we're looking at, the author, Amanda King, offers a very specific take on this. She argues that this shouldn't be seen as a reason to get certain vaccines. She suggests that introducing a virus through a vaccine could also raise IL-6, and she points to recent research associating the COVID vaccine with an increase in cancer. We're presenting her perspective here just so you have a complete picture of the source article. So, all of this brings us right back to our main problem. How in the world do we get curcumin into the body so it can actually do its job? Well, the answer comes from some really clever technology that basically acts like a special delivery service. And here they are, liposomes. I want you to picture them as tiny, armored bubbles for delicate molecules like curcumin. They're these microscopic spheres made of phospholipids, which is, get this, the exact same stuff our own cell membranes are made of. This genius design lets them protect what's inside and deliver it safely. So how does it actually pull this off? It's basically a three-step mission. First, protection. The liposome acts like a bodyguard, shielding the curcumin from getting destroyed by your stomach acid. Second, dispersion. It keeps the curcumin molecule, which hates water, nicely spread out. And third, the final step, interaction. Because it's made of the same material as our cells, it can literally merge with the lining of your intestine, letting the curcumin absorb right into your bloodstream. It's incredibly efficient. Okay, so we've been through the problem, the high stakes, and this really cool solution. What is the one big idea, the single most important thing to take away from all this? Well, it all boils down to one simple but powerful concept. Here it is. A supplement's potential is absolutely meaningless if it can't get to where it needs to go. For curcumin, all of its amazing biological effects depend entirely on its ability to get past our body's defenses. It's so true. How a molecule is delivered really does determine its destiny and its effectiveness. And that kind of leaves you with this final, exciting thought. We've just seen how modern technology can finally connect the ancient wisdom of a molecule like curcumin with real practical results. It really makes you wonder, if we can finally unlock the full power of this one golden spice, what other secrets are hiding in nature that we're just about to discover?